Hello everybody, welcome back for StarCraft 2 action. I hope you can't hear the construction in the background. We have ShaDoWn going up against Solar from the Group B ESL 2024 Spring Edition Open Bracket. And we've seen ShaDoWn already, but we didn't know that Solar was there. And we're gonna see a little bit more of Solar in the next video, I promise you that. But for now, I want to see how this Frenchman... please be a Frenchman. In my headcanon, this man is French. If he's not, then... I don't know what reality is. This Protoss player... already went up against Rogue. Had a pretty rough time there. Did show some promise. But now he's up against a different Korean Zerg in Solar. And of course Solar, ever since Legacy of the Void came out, in my eyes, this guy exploded. It's like he's been a contender ever since, in my eyes. And he always seems to get a little unlucky. Maru nuke, lol. But he's always there. You're always like, damn, Solar. He's a top 8, he's a top 4 type of guy. Nowadays, probably a little bit more top 8 than he is top 4. But he's good. Like, he's just goddamn good. Maybe the last year or so, it's been a bit less of a Solar show. We've had Dark kind of reestablish himself. Whom's is also just one of those Zergs, you know, for the last, what, 10 years? I saw one of those Twitter posts where they showed, like, a Maru versus Dark picture, and they had, like, baby faces from literally 10 years ago. And it was kind of cool. Kind of cool to see. That's how long these guys have been competing for our entertainment and their search for glory. ShaDoWn going for the Stargate here, but he's putting it somewhere where I don't think Solar's gonna find it. But I mean, you are going to expect it. Schrodinger's Adept being employed here, and it does go across the map. I think that's how Quantum works. Don't quote me on that, but pretty sure that's how it works. Adepts invented quantum mechanics. Let's look at Solar here. He has gas. He has no more gas mining. We see an Oracle coming out from ShaDoWn. We have an extra Adept on the way. A third one even. And this first one is just doing its scouting. This Adept, I think, just got like a link kill. And hasn't seen much of anything. Hasn't even been able to see the main base. Has seen the third. And now seems to be looking at the clock and is like, oh, speed could finish. Plonks down another gateway. Tries to get his Adept back at home. And we have one Adept at the third base location. Second Oracle is being created. And a couple links run across the map. Not as many as some other Zergs might make. But just gonna check out the third base timing. 2 Adepts are ready to reinforce that Nexus, so can't really do anything with these links. Could be try and be a little bit annoying. But instead, this Oracle is being annoying. Gets 3 drone kills. And no Spore Crawler was made, so I don't know if it's worth or not worth, but now second Oracle comes in. These queens are still tied up in the main base. And these 2 queens slightly out of position, but these drones managed to save themselves by becoming buildings. It's kind of like Fortnite. When I'm in a problem, let me just quickly build a fortress. Which, I thought I wouldn't hate that game so much. I'm old, okay, so it's not my cup of tea. I'm bad at shooters as well, but I used to play Command and Conquer Renegade, which, if you don't know it, it's fun. And I used to play that kind of competitively. I was in a clan and whatever, but there was a couple like modded servers that would have a building in them. So you would do like exclamation point wall, and it would take a couple credits from you, and you would build a wall that had some HP and people could break it down again. And you could do some creative stuff with that. I used to love that. So I understand all these Fortnite players that love building like towers up into the sky. I'm right there with you. I used to do that as well in Command & Conquer Renegade. And back then it was cool. But now that I'm old, I hate everything that the young people love. That's the cycle of life. That was a decent damage coming out. 10 drones in total. And 6 adepts went down for that. We've seen, I think it was Skillas pulled this out as well. And I think that's enough damage. Especially considering that they also have to make a bunch of lings. 13 lings were built. 13 died, so I feel like Solar didn't overmake any lings there. So if I'm Solar, I'm feeling okay here. But you're not going to hit a crisp timing anymore, because you did get slowed down by this Protoss player. I like that he's scouting out potential 4th base locations, because that is a way to fall behind here as Solar. See, Templar Archives coming out. Okay, so ShaDoWn really, really loves his Templar Archives. I think the last games we saw from him versus Rogue, he went Storm every game. And I thought it looked kind of middling at best. But if you do hit the good storms, or you do get a little ahead and you have some room to put them in War Prisms, get some storm drops going, get a good Archon count, obviously. I think Archons are formidable versus Zerg. And I think every Zerg player knows that, yes, Archons are very good. The only thing that stops Protoss from making more Archons is the fact that they're effing fat. And so they're kind of the same as Ultralisks in a way. Where they just kind of get stuck behind stuff, and they have super low range. So they're almost melee, basically. I think they have like 3 range or something. They can attack air, but... Let's look at what ShaDoWn is doing. So he does get the Storm, +1 is about to finish. Doesn't immediately start a next upgrade. What a noob. I mean, he's almost wasted this entire chrono boost. Not to hate. It doesn't really matter. But... do you guys remember when you used to have the perma chrono? I just remembered. You used to be able to, like, put the chrono on a building and it would just permanently chrono the building. That was something. That was way less fun than just manually chrono boosting something. Oh. Overlord with Queens coming out, so this is... I had a name for it. Yeah, the Korean subway system or something. Because this is kind of late for a Queen drop. But Solar is bringing them along, because these Oracles are still annoying. We do have the Templar here. No feedbacks going down just yet. Do get a Creep Tumor here as well. The Stasis Ward only hits a couple Lings, so that is fine for Solar. Ooh, that Storm does look nasty. We could see some transfuses here from the Queens. And I guess the feedbacks are not worth it anymore. Solar in between the bases of ShaDoWn, and his forces are spread up, or spread out because of that. We do see a lot of cannons here at the 4th base, so ShaDoWn is ready to defend. In theory, Corrosive Vials go down, a bunch of the buildings do get shut down. The Immortals are in the main force, the Storms making sure that Solar's army can't stand and fight, and I feel like ShaDoWn's army looking formidable here, shooing away Solar. Solar getting some value with the Queens and the Ravagers, but, oh, whoa, this maneuvering! Look at ShaDoWn's army, it's completely out of position now. Solar gets on top of some of these Stalkers that are just warped in, but doesn't really get any juicy. Like, if their Disruptor was rolling in, or one lone Immortal, that would have been so much more juice. But now, Solar has to run away. Oh, missed. No, did you see the units? They tried to go back into the army because he probably clicked a little bit to the right of his army, and the pathing messed him up, and now Blink Stalkers just hunting down the rest of Solar's army, forced to make 15 more roaches. Oh my god, dude, the creep was so cool. Look at how fast he was on creep in an offensive position. He could really try and outmaneuver ShaDoWn. We didn't really see him try to do a run-by during that attack, but after that attack, he's definitely trying it. The Lings are running on in. The army of ShaDoWn are slowly trying to back up. Get stuck! Because it's on a move, and now the Lings, ooh, little recall here. All of the Immortals are actually recalled. That is terrible, because now all of the Roaches just flood on in. And Solar has all of the knowledge. He knows where your Immortals are. They are not near the Roaches. High Templar exposed. The Roaches run on top. Only one Immortal gets shut down right away. Corrosive Biles do not go down onto the nuclear battery, but that was a great trade for Solar. And some probes going down as well. These Lings still in the main. Are you kidding me? ShaDoWn. You recall all of your Immortals and you don't even clean up all of the Lings. We do not have burrows, so they just ran around. And ShaDoWn prioritized getting back to the front with his Immortals. And I mean, his army is still formidable against the Roach Ravager. How much? No, he actually doesn't have any High Templar anymore. I was like, how much energy do we have? We barely have any. We do have 4 sets of gases for ShaDoWn, so he does have the gas to sustain this pretty gas-intensive army. And Solar only on 4 bases, so this is kind of a pretty committed all-in from Solar, even not continuing to upgrade, not really continuing to feed his economy. He's just making Roach, Ravager, and Ling and trying to kind of crack the nut that is ShaDoWn right now. And ShaDoWn, not afraid, taking a 5th base here. I love that. Some championship winning mentality right there. It's just not afraid to play this way versus this. Like, I mean, this is one of the scariest Korean Zergs you could play against. Like, you can't tell me that you wouldn't be a little bit afraid playing against effing Solar. But Solar only on 63 drones, now getting a Hive and a Hydra Den and drones. So with this attack, he does kind of decide to backtrack on his earlier ideas and now goes back into, well, scaling up in the game. So he tried to hit a really strong timing, and it looked really strong. ShaDoWn made a small mistake, and Solar did capitalize on it, but Solar made a pretty big mistake earlier. Nice Roach flank here at the natural. I like that Solar splitting up his army here, but now he retreated all the way back to his main base, allowing ShaDoWn to fully push him back. Could have even forced this 5th base if he knew about it. And that would have been really nice for ShaDoWn, forcing those fights. Does he still have? He does have recall. So he could have been a little bit more ballsy. Look at this. Just some Stalker Immortal versus some Stalker Immortal, or a Stalker Immortal versus Roach Ling Ravager, and a couple High Templar mixed in. This is actually quite cool. I like this meta. I like this a lot. These are like just units that can attack. So it's all about positioning. And there's a little bit of spellcasting in there with the Blink, with the Ravager Biles, and with the Storm. But it's mostly about army movement. That is cool. Get +1 shields come up. Yes, ShaDoWn goes from +1 to shields. I love shields. I think shields are way better than armor. For this particular army especially. And if you ever make any amount of Archons, it's quite obvious that you love having shields. Shields, of course, meaning that shields give +1 armor. Oh, ShaDoWn hitting in 3 places at once, dropping some Zealots in the 4th, getting his Warp Prism to the main, and now attacking in 2 places at once. Oh no! I mean, this force did really well defending his natural, but didn't do as well fighting the whole army of Solar. He did deny the 5th for the cost of a couple units there, and so ShaDoWn can actually trade out pretty well. Do mind that he has 2 upgrades he's 2 upgrades in the lead, okay? So his armies... What? Why are you afraid? Don't be so afraid. You have 4 Immortals. I guess he's afraid of getting, like, triple surrounded, which would be pretty bad. He has a bunch of Storms, though. And now he sees a pretty sizable chunk of the army of Solar knock on his door again. And now we see the Fleet Bacon. Second Stargate being added on. I want to stop saying secondary for everything, but it's a little hard. It sounds fancy. We do have +1 air as well, which helps with your shield upgrades, dude. Shield upgrades. They're just so good for Protoss. If you're the type of guy that transitions into his carriers, if you're the type of guy to have some Blink Stalkers, if you're the type of guy to have any amount of Archons, shield upgrades are for you. But the Lurkers are on deck, kind of forcing this Stargate transition for ShaDoWn. It's either Stargate or Disruptors, I suppose. And lots of observers. This is a nice crackdown, though, from ShaDoWn, making sure that a couple of those lurkers go down. And look at him, just throwing down the storms, making sure that these units can't stand and fight. But, oh my god, taking just a couple too many lurker spines. We do have the lurker range now online, and we don't have a lot of storms left. I think one High Templar is full energy, so we have like 2 more storms. One more storm remaining, one more in the bank, and I think ShaDoWn can just retreat here. Oh, nice zealot run by, whilst killing all of Solar's relevant bases. I don't think he should overcommit for this 4th base. Oh, but he can. The lurkers have uprooted. I don't know where they are. They're running across the map. Solar is in the center of ShaDoWn's bases, trying to shut down the heartbeat. And we have a mass base race here, full-on base race coming up, and Solar knows that I need to get into this main base, shut down the production, seize the means of production from these goddamn capitalist Protoss units. And he shuts down all of the Stargates before a singular carrier gets out. That's huge, because a couple carriers could do a number on Solar's army, since, I mean, he only has Hydras. Now, the lurkers are alone. We had a recall from ShaDoWn coming out. Does he still have an observer? He does not have an observer right now. His robo is unpowered. We have 1 carrier coming out. 1 carrier. And this game is whack. This is crazy. I like that Solar went for this. Solar was kind of on the back foot. He couldn't just let ShaDoWn transition into carriers uninterrupted. Just let him trade out his army, get carriers, and go. Oh, the lurkers aggressively burrowing for it. Look at that! He doesn't have any detection. So his units are getting destroyed by these spines. Nice storms, though. Does kill a couple more lurkers, but where's that 1 hero carrier? Here it is. Got F2'd back to the army. Good job. But this is one of the only situations where I'm like, okay, F2, click it. Click it on top of the minimap. This is a good time to click all of your units to go somewhere, because it's all hands-on-deck warfare right now. Solar somehow up in supply, up in army supply, but he's no money. He's so poor. Solar literally long-distance mining to his own mined-out 3rd base. And I think if ShaDoWn just gets a couple buildings up, gets more cannon shield batteries, and holds on. Oh, that was not good. That was not good. What does he have? He has 3 gateways? He has a Stargate? He's not using the 1 Stargate. He did make a Void Ray from it. He could make another one. I feel like you should just spend your money. It doesn't really matter at this point, now does it? You're so rich, you just need more dudes! 1 working gateway in the main? And Solar actually moving back here, even though he just doesn't have any money. Now building a new base at his 4th base, seeing that his 3rd base probably not going to keep up, and he doesn't want to take the base closest to his opponent. Solar finds the, whatever base this is, the new expansion of ShaDoWn. And ShaDoWn, do you think you have to keep this? Or do you just... Oh, he's trying to defend it. Or is it just wasting time, buying time? God. 7 lurkers. Those are spooky. The fleet bacon is underway. We have 2 Void Rays and an Immortal in production, and 3 Zealots. These are very slowly warping in. Oh, they are warping in over there. Trying to find out if there's a base here. With the vision that he does have, it looks like it. And there's 1 Ling. 1 Ling to rule them all. These probes are gonna go down. This base is gonna go down. But ShaDoWn slowly but surely has been building up more forces. He's now supply blocked. That is awkward. Rebuilding another Nexus at his old 3rd base. I wouldn't mind getting a corner base as well. But ShaDoWn's trust fund has kind of dried up now. Builds another Nexus. This Viper does not see it. Should get some glasses, sir. Look at that. Look at his vision. It's not a lot. More lurkers are underway for Solar. That is a good unit to build, because he had mostly gas remaining, because he still had geysers, but he didn't have mineral income. So he's built up a formidable lurker force here. 14 lurkers. Now we see 3 Tempest underway. Let's go, Tempest. Dude, how is Solar going to deal with all of these Tempest? What does Solar have? 14 Hydras and a Viper. That is his anti-air. I guess he has 2 Queens. Might have like a spore crawler somewhere. 1, 2. Yeah, it's 2 spores. But I think as soon as the Tempest come out here, and an Oracle or two to start the tagging, ShaDoWn can do a number on the army of Solar. But if Solar gets to collapse onto the last few bases of ShaDoWn, oh, the carrier does get yoinked by the Viper. Nice feedback, but doesn't manage to get his carrier out. Should really have an abductability on the High Templar as well. Just give him like Rubik's spell steal ability, so he can steal the yoink ability, and then he yoinks his own carrier back. That would be pretty cool. Now the Tempests are here, shutting down this Lurker siege. I can siege you back from the air now. How many Tempests? 3 Tempests on deck, 2 more underway. Tempests are just cool units. Oh. And still, I think, no observers. Oh, 2 observers now. I just can't see them. Oh, there comes the first one and the second one. So they look freshly produced. Maybe I'm not crazy. And ShaDoWn has to be careful that they don't get sniped by Solar here. Oh, this Archon doing his tanking job. +1 shields coming in clutch. He would have been dead. Someone a Ravager. Get him, boys. Oh, the Lurkers are unburrowed. Storms go down, doing a lot of damage, killing a Lurker or 2. And ShaDoWn slowly but surely maxing out again. And what can you do if you are Solar? 11 Lurkers remaining. You have a bunch of Hydralisks. You haven't made any upgrades in a hot minute. And you don't have enough Vipers. Or, I mean, you don't have Aspiring Corruptors, so this is already really hard. The High Templars are low in energy, though. That was some nice yoinks. But what do you yoink? All of this is nice to yoink. Immortals, High Templars, Tempest. Boss, what do I yoink? Yes. Oh, these Lurkers are doing a good job of zoning the High Templar. There come the feedbacks, or at least one of them. Did his rapid fire key just die or something? And the Oracle. Dude, the Oracle's giving the vision? That is so good. Ooh, get one nice yoink onto the Tempest. Do eat a storm for it, but still. Solar. He's kind of like pushing ShaDoWn back. He's taking a lot of damage for it. 15 drones died as well to all of these zealots in the back that I did not show. But Solar taking a lot of damage on his army to try and take down one of the bases, but he's also just taking a lot of damage in the back. And now his army is caught between a big-ass army from ShaDoWn chasing him and his army trying to retreat back to deal with the zealots. Lurker's a little bit too immobile to retreat from ShaDoWn in a hurry. Oh, look at that. Oh, 1 Tempest, 2 Tempest. Not enough Hydras here, really, but... Oh, Tempests don't have that much health, I guess. A lot of Lurkers do go down? Only some Hydras left. I think this ShaDoWn army is just too sophisticated. Too many lasers. And yes, Solar agrees. Too many lasers indeed. And he GG's out here on the first game. Oceanborn, still a Protoss map, baby. ShaDoWn takes game number 1. And ShaDoWn taking down Solar in game number 1. A little bit of a confidence booster there, I'm sure. Taking a game of Rogue, now taking a game off Solar. But not quite able to stop the 14 hatch. 14 hatch with... Oh, with a second Overlord. It's that build. Okay, that's weird, but it does get you the hatch. No hatch blocks. Solar's like, nope. Not playing that type of game. And there is one game that you should be playing, and that's the game where you subscribe to my channel, like the video, leave a comment. I just have to ask. It's a friendly reminder, really. I'm already thankful if you're watching the video this far in. And I hope you're enjoying it, because I'm definitely enjoying watching some StarCraft and talking about the game that I've spent half my life on at this point. Quite literally. I just like talking a lot. I'm not gonna lie. ShaDoWn does scout out that this... He could know that this was a bit of an early hatch. I mean, he knows because... What am I saying? He knows because he couldn't hatch block. He knows his scouting. So, but that doesn't change too much for the Zerg, honestly. Like, if you just wait a little bit, the only thing that happens is that this hatch finishes before your pool finishes, so your queens feel delayed, but they're not really. This hatch is just a little early. You get the extra larva, which is nice, but you did forgo making a couple drones before the hatchery, so it's slightly less economical, but it shouldn't be too game-changing. There might be a couple builds that are so tight, especially low drone counts, that would be impacted by that. So I guess you would know that Solar's probably not going to like 32 drone Ravager Ling all in you, and as I say that, he's probably going to do that. But I would not expect it if I was a Protoss player, because it seems a little bit inefficient. Also, getting this positioning kind of tells us that he just hates dealing with the Adept Oracle, and maybe even respects ShaDoWn's play with them. So we see another Stargate opener. This time around, we are seeing a Stalker after the Adept. So this Adept counting the drones, very important. The sneaky Zerg didn't draw a couple drones from the main. So now you have an exact count of the drones. See a couple slow lings. Speed is underway. Everything is normal. Everything is fine. Everything is okay. Probably going to be seeing a gate come down here anytime soon. It's about that time that the speedlings are going to show up. This Oracle is actually going to be revealing this Overlord. And Solar not making a big swell of lings. Maybe this is a read on ShaDoWn's part, where he's like, well, you don't make a lot of Zerglings. So actually, I'm not going to close down my base too early. Actually has 2 units to slot into those holes right there. Don't think any dirty thoughts. Be a good Christian. And Solar back on his gas mining. Gets 1 spore. And probably the Polish Gambit in the main. Using queens only. I'm still always surprised that oracles don't die to 2 queens sometimes. Because I used to practice my queens in the mineral line with an oracle like shift queued over it. Like going in and going out straight away, not even hitting anything. And with 2 queens, I could stutter step it down. But maybe that was when queens had 1 more range. That is quite possible. Time flies sometimes. Oh, that 1 drone did not get taken down, but the spore did get killed. Oh, that's even better. You killed the drone and the spore. It's a lot of money going down the drain there for Solar and the queen. Dude, spores, or oracles. Cray. Behind this, Twilight Console and Forge. And a little bit of a link flood here from good man Solar. And he knows how much Oracle juice there has been used. There is 3 Oracles on the map, and there's only 1 with a little bit of juice left. These Lings run into the main. We only see 2 gateways, and the Lings come back to the 3rd base. The probes in the main, a couple are gonna fall. And, I mean, it's 5 probe kills in total. The Oracle's not killing any more drones. And it was all hands on deck for ShaDoWn there for a couple seconds. And, of course, a full scout for Solar. Doesn't see the Stargate, but he knows that it's there because he saw the Oracles. 2 more gates coming out, so this is the 4 gate. Blink Stalker +1 with the Oracles. And ShaDoWn even moving out really early. This is a fake move out. But he does want Solar to kind of overreact here. He wants to see like 20 drones, at least. Right? Throws in the shades. He's like, I'm gonna attack you. Oh, actually, shades in here. Evo block, and the oracles can't even, or adepts can't even get close to the drones. But the shades are gonna go into the main. That was probably worth it. Get the scout, get the drone kills. Nice, adept. No, you're a move command. No. Are you kidding me? This was so nice. He could have killed like 5 drones, but he was worrying. Or microing his oracles. Now he gets a bunch of drone kills anyways. He knew where the queens were, so... I mean, it's worth it. If Solar was a little worse and didn't use his drones there, the Adepts get over here and shut down mining for a long-ass while. So StarCraft, it's a battle of attention in certain situations. And that's why Liberators are so frustrating. For example, Twilight Council comes down once again. The boy wants Storm. He loves his Storm. But can you beat Solar on a stormy night? That is the question. The Spire is going down here into a Blink Stalker player that has a Stargate and is making Stalkers. That should tell you a lot about how good Mutalisks are when they are not scouted. Very important caveat. They're not scouted. These Oracles, though, are they going to be scouting? They are running around. No reveal! Oh, did he have energy for that? He did, but he didn't use it. So, this Spire goes unscouted. And, I mean, we only see Lings on the map. We haven't seen a Roach Warren. ShaDoWn, in theory, should try to scout more. Should feel that something's up. He's going for double Robo. Kind of hard countering a Lurker Rush or another Roach Ravager type beat. And Changeling goes down. He sees the double Robo and is probably smiling on the inside. 13, 15 mutas with +1. Completely unscouted. We do see one cannon going down, probably at the 4th base. Or in the... what? Where is it? No? 2 cannons are being built. Yeah, in the natural. Okay. So, he is privy to it now? Or at least he seems to be reacting to it. Yeah, definitely. Phoenix coming out as well. Yes, he does know before the mutas arrive, so this is not a total... surprise to ShaDoWn, but I feel like it was a pretty late reaction. The mutas are already out, and now he's starting to buckle down, build cannons everywhere. The dirty, turtling Protoss player. How could you? Now we do have a Phoenix here. The Lings try to get in, get hit by a little Stasis Ward. And, I mean, he's just turtled up everywhere. Oh, the mutas do get an angle, though. Storms do go down. But none of the mutas actually die. And they find a little tasteless pylon here. Do kill that one pylon. Get ShaDoWn's supply blocked. And now they run out again. Ooh, the Ling Muta Force. They're trying to wrap around the 4th base here. Wow, this one Archon doing a lot of work. Archons are so scary for both mutas and the Lings. The mutas just click them down. Nuclear battery, keeping that Archon alive for so long. Friendly fire on the Storm. But all the Lings do go down. And I would love to see some more Archons. Just more Archons, please. Like 1 or 2 Archons at this base. Because all of your other bases are so safe. Get more Archons. Do it. Do it. Oh, Fleet Bacon plus 2 more Stargates. Are you for real? Solar doesn't see it. So we could actually see some Anion Pulse Crystal Phoenix or Phoenix range. Oh, that's a lot of Zerglings getting into the natural here off ShaDoWn, but I don't know if they're really going to do anything. That's a big Mutaflock, though. So ShaDoWn has to defend with only half his army. His Cybercore actually going down, so can't make more Stalkers that might come into play right now. 28 mutas is quite a lot. And the ShaDoWn anti-air is still kind of midway. It's still in progress. Oh, the Storms go down. The mutas are on top of the High Templar. Snipe them right away. The Lings come in as well. This is only half the Stalkers. The rest of the Stalkers are stuck behind. And now there's one Phoenix. Gets targeted down right away. The Oracles try to help. And of course they get targeted down right away by the mutas as well. This is a lot of Stalkers, but it's also a lot of mutas. And we have one Archon, but where is that bad boy? Oh, it's in the middle of the army. And the mutas now come up. I told you, you need 2 Archons at this 4th base to anchor it down. But I mean, we have perfect vision, so it's a little easy to say. Now in it. Do have Baneling Nest coming up, plus 2 melee as well. So these Lings are gonna be crazy. Plus 2 is done for ShaDoWn, so Stalkers do a decent amount of damage, but the upgrades have been halted because he's investing in all of these Phoenix, and Phoenix are very expensive because they build very fast, and they cost a decent amount. And I think Animal Pulse Crystal's never finished. I think it was actually cancelled by ShaDoWn to get some more money. And, I mean, Solar just somehow made his way into the main, is killing everything in the natural, and ShaDoWn is just running circles around his own base, and Solar is just pulling the wool over his eyes. He's just dancing on him, dude. What? Solar? Not even getting +2 air attack? He knows what he wants. Oh, 18 probe kills is what he wants. He's on 80 workers. And these mutas are so high in number that they can fight any amount of stalkers. But they don't like an AoE. They still don't like Storm. They still don't like Archons, and they definitely don't like 8+ ranged Phoenix. In theory, you only need one, but I think 6 to 8 start like one-shotting meters. Oh my god, the probe line in the natural completely annihilated. The 5th base at the gold just getting chomped down by the Lings. And look at this ground army running around the base. Once again, this Phoenix does spawn, but just kind of dies right away. The Stargates have been killed. The Fleet Beacon has been killed. So much infrastructure that ShaDoWn has invested in has been for naught. And the High Templar throw out all their storms, so afraid. And they do get taken down by the Mutalisk. And if you wonder how you do that, you actually hold position instead of A-moving there. Because if you A-move, your Mutas, like, spread out. Kind of like, I don't know. They go, like, always, basically. If you're on top of an army, they go, like, to the nearest enemy that they find. And they, like, spread out a little if you A-move. But if you hold position, they just kind of, like, attack anything that they can find in their range right there. And they don't turn or anything. So using hold position and then moving right away and you kind of glide forward is how you do effective run-bys with the Mutalisk. You can also click on the High Templar. If you A-click on the High Templar, you can also, of course, kill it, but then they'll tend to clump up a little more. Another technique is to use Patrol, but that's kind of like an in-betweener between A-moving and hold positioning, so I'm more of a binary person. So, what a way to say that. I prefer the hold position micro. You should practice that. It's really fun to, like, fly over mineral line and, like, click it and be like, hold position, click, 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 hold position, click, 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 hold position. And then you just see the probes evaporating, even though there's, like, stalkers over here, but there's probes over there. And if your mutas are on top of the probes and you A-move, they'll go to the stalkers. But if you hold position, the probes are giga dead. So yeah, let's dive into game number 3. Solar. Just bopped him. Giga bop. And Solar takes game number 2 in this best of 3 versus ShaDoWn. And we are here on Ghost River. And Solar looks to be going for that 14 hatch again on Ghost River. And this one is for all the Zerg players. Because this seems like a really, really, really difficult map to win on versus Protoss because of the super short rush distance, and your third base is just so far away. This block sucks. Like, I'm surprised that there are not more pool first or even 12 pool builds on this map done by Zerg players. Even going for proxy hatches, I think would be okay, because there is no ramp here. So if you get blocked, you run down, but you already sent a drone earlier, which will make a hatch here, and then you'll make a slightly later hatch at the third base, which ShaDoWn hasn't even checked yet. So there could be a proxy hatch going up right now, and now he checks it, and then he sees like, oh, it's a little red, but okay, it's up. And then he checks, and he's like, okay, gas, pool, whatever. And he's none the wiser. He's just a little like, huh, that hatchery's a little late. Really good Protoss players will probably check, but then where are you hiding it? 10 minerals? You could even build it here and mine this out to really hide it. That would be the boss move, but then you have to go up a ramp to do your... So it's probably not good enough. I think it's okay if you go for the Zergling Spine Queen thing, where you only get 100 gas for link speed, and then you just build like 3 spines, use the spines and 2 queens to bust the front, and then you flood in with like 40 lings. Kind of like the Bly build that he did versus Neeb on, what's that map called? Cyberforest? I think? No, it's not Cyberforest, that's a different one. That one has a ramp at the natural. Oh, somebody knows what I'm talking about. You can leave it in the comments, but the Neeb Bly game, the one everybody knows, the proxy hatch, spine, queen, ling versus like Neeb defending on one base with a war prism and force fields for like 20 minutes plus. Both players just on one base economy. That game was so sick, and you should Google it or YouTube it after this game. Of course. You should watch it, you should enjoy it, and then come back and tell me that it was indeed still as awesome as I remember. So that others may also enjoy it. Damn, all these call to actions today, I'm sorry for that. Oh. Resonating glaives. ShaDoWn. That's dirty. He's already starting to pull up the adepts behind his wall. He's not even thinking about playing this game fair and square. And Solar is looking around like, where's that third base you showed me the first 2 games? This probe is now thinking about it. We see 3 adepts. He showed that the first game and did a small adept attack. So I wouldn't be surprised if Solar has some defenses prepared. But does he have defenses prepared for this type of attack? This Nexus is a little late, but I guess 30 seconds late, maybe 20 seconds. But nothing super weird is happening just yet. Solar's senses might be Spidey senses. That's it, right? Spidey might be tingling a little bit. He sees a 4th adept. Might have seen that 5th one as well. We see a Roach Warren. He fires up 10 more lings. He's spreading creep. And he's not... he's making more drones. And now we see the adepts are coming across. More lings fired up. So he was probably just expecting the adept attack that was shown in game number 1 by his opponent. ShaDoWn does get in with these resonating glaives, and those are mean killing machines. They can even kill queens, as we just saw. Clicks a queen, cancels the shade, and the lings run back. It looks a little silly, but we haven't lost a lot of drones yet. Just queens and lings. Behind this, though, ShaDoWn can just transition. This is a nice pressure. Could have, I feel like, stayed there and just used the whole position to kill a lot of drones. Now the shade goes back, but now the lings are here. The lings got him. And now he kind of has to commit the shade, I feel like, and Solar knows. Doesn't instantaneously recall, so these adepts are going to kill or die, be unalived. And not a lot of drones were killed there. Actually, 0 drones were killed there. Solar. Are you kidding me? Now goes for the attack, as he should. Oh, no. ShaDoWn playing with fire here. Black-pink in your area. And that's how your face looks after Solar beats it up. If you finish that shade. Some links get into the mineral line. He wanted to go for that whole position. Most broken command in the game after A moving, but only for Protoss players. Funnily enough. It's weird how that works. Do have a single EVA chamber now being created. We have the Roach Warren, so Solar can go into his Roach Ravager, whatever style. I do like that on these low rush distance maps, because they're just a better, like, straight up fighting army. We do have a Baneling Nest as well. That's very good if ShaDoWn commits for more adepts and then shades on top of your army. And like 5 to 8 Banelings. It's just mwah. It's a great value. Don't really need Baneling speed. It's just defensive. And if you really want to, you can even do some run-bys with them. But then you probably get speed. We do have +1 and Blink coming out. We have the Templar Archives again. And we have a decent immortal count being built up here from ShaDoWn. 2 immortals already, feeling pretty good against these roaches that are coming up. But for now, it's mostly Ling Ravager. We have +1 melee. So, going to be more Ling Ravager than roaches here. The roaches are basically just there to be in the army so that he can make more Ravagers when he wants them. Or when the gas offers him that opportunity, basically. So, roaches are basically Ravagers that are still in production and walking across the map. Infestation pit coming down. Swarm host, swarm host. I want to see some swarm hosts. And you already know that, and on this map, it's so obvious that it's kind of okay. It's not even that great, but it's nice to chuck them from this low ground to kind of like force your way up. It's not even that great of a swarm host map, awkwardly saying, because it's only good to have them here to get into the nat. That's about it. Like, if you're here, I guess you can get him on top of the 4th base. If you have a Nidus down here, then maybe. But it's not that good. And instead, we're going for the Hydra Den and the Hive. So we're going to go into Lurkers. Swarm House would have been a little late. I'm still sad, but it is understandable. I don't know what the accents are doing here today, but more Immortals coming out. We see Storm almost finishing up +2 as well. And we only have 1 Robo so far. How many High Templar? 4 High Templar are going to have a bunch of Storms. 4th base for ShaDoWn is coming down. And, wow, Solar is just being pretty defensive after completely annihilating that Adept attack. Adept attack. And now he's just maxing out. He's getting his Hydras, getting +1 range now, +2 melee. And he sees this army from ShaDoWn, immediately runs into the 3rd base, making him feel vulnerable. And the Ling's trying to do some damage to the 4th base here, but there's already cannons there. Goddamn turtle Protosses, dude. Oh, 1 High Templar gets found. Lings are free anyway. If I have to believe Reddit. But that was pretty worth it. Now the other Lings do get taken down. Too bad they couldn't hide a little further away. Oh, this Immortal. 5 seconds earlier, that Immortal's dead. Now Solar finally starts breaking down these rock. You want to break down almost all of them on your opponent's side, which is really awkward. This War Prism is ready to ship some Adepts into the base of Solar, trying to get that value from the Resonating Glaives, even later into the game. But the problem is that Adepts just kind of cost gas, and if you look at ShaDoWn's army, he wants gas somewhere else. He wants High Templar, he wants even Sentries apparently, he wants Immortals, he wants Archons. So that 100 gas into these Adepts, you'd rather have 4 Zealots, really. That's why Adepts are such a ephemeral unit. Oh, look at that vocabulary. They are an ephemeral unit. It's kind of funny because they shade, and then they, like, disappear, like the Marvel movie, you know, the snap. They disappear into dust. It's kind of them when the 12-minute mark rolls around, or I guess the 8-minute mark. So Ling Roach run by. We see some Stargates going down for ShaDoWn, going for a carrier transition once again. Finds the Lurkers without detection once more. And this Nidus is going unattended. That doesn't feel good. Trust me, if you get Lurkers in your main base, you are probably dead. If they get on top of your ramp, then you're fucked. Solar not microing them just yet, but this is a problem. Let's get 1 on top of the 3rd base. Even worse on this map. And ShaDoWn is going for a similar thing as the game 1. Just goes for the kill move. He's like, okay, you're doing a lot of damage to me. I'm going to try and do a lot of damage back to you. And these Stargates that he builds in his main keep dying. So, if there's one tip for ShaDoWn, build your Stargates somewhere else. Somewhere in a corner of the map, or at your 3rd base. I don't know. Something that doesn't die instantaneously. Because these Stargates have died twice now. And his response to the Lurker, once again, the Tempest, even the Mothership. And ShaDoWn, losing a lot of his army there, did not really get a recall. Or did he? I mean, this makes me think he did. But those High Templar are very low energy, and I think he's just dead. Look at the minimap. Like, Solar's just coming in. There's no way to fight these lurkers right now. For ShaDoWn, he has only one observer, and it's on the other side of the map. So his main base is basically forfeit. His third base is unmineable. I mean, I guess the cloak from the mothership gives him like 20 seconds to mine. And a huge army from Solar comes on in. No! Storms. Oh, just gets the energy for the storms. Onto these High Templar. Does get decent storms off, but... Again, ShaDoWn, half his army wasn't fighting. Oh, this Archon really wants to do something. But he's alive. ShaDoWn is alive, somehow. Didn't even click this base down. Solar is miles ahead. Like, ShaDoWn is in the game. That's all we can say. Yes, he's in the game. But as Idra did say once, is because... Or what did he say? Just because you can stay in the game doesn't mean you should. I mean, ShaDoWn should this game, obviously. He has a decent work count. He has an army. But no 5th base. That's for sure. These upgrades are okay-ish. He has Storm. He has Tempest. So he has a way to deal with the army of Solar, but I would be so afraid of Solar's next move. Like, he can do anything. He's putting down these Nidus Worms, which are just kind of hemorrhaging cash for Solar, but he's 72 workers. And continuing to upgrade, making Ling Hydra Lurker. Well, gets one observer, but there's still 2 more. What is ShaDoWn's Tempest count? He has 3. But I feel like... Opposite to game number 1. Oh, nice. We get 1 feedback. Big Lurker Spines coming down. Oh, the High Templars do go down. We have 2 Overseers that need to be targeted down right away. And that does not happen, so the cloaking field is not enough. The Lurkers gain vision, and the Spines go a little further than the range indicated. So they destroy armies. They also do splash damage, kind of like Hellions, right? So that's a big thing. They do bonus damage to armored, so buildings are sad. See some storms going down. Meanwhile, in the natural, an Immortal is not quite immortal. Dies to a bunch of Lings. All of the probes in the natural are going down. That base is probably going down. And the Hydras just don't give a damn. They're just walking on up. This Lurker Egg actually kind of griefing his own army. But Solar is just doubling the supply of ShaDoWn right now. And ShaDoWn needed to, like, keep all of his ramps intact. Need to, like, have force fields and storms and archons and everything. And ShaDoWn, GG, well plays. Good luck in the rest of the tournament, because ShaDoWn is out after losing here. And wow, ShaDoWn was 1-0 up versus Solar. Had a pretty good game there. And then game number 2, kind of a shellacking. But game number 3, I feel like started pretty well. That adept attack looked very vicious. It didn't do the damage that he was looking for. But, you know, he had signs of brilliance. But Solar is Solar, and he takes this best of 3 and moves on to meet somebody else for the qualifying match that you will see in the next video. Guys, thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, blah, 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 blah. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!